Yo, Raider Nation, I'm bringing the heat straight from the desert today. We've got 4 stories that'll get your heart racing and your mind blown. Bold moves, game-changing talent, and strategy shaking up the 2025 offseason. Are the Raiders building an unstoppable squad or just chasing big dreams? You won't believe what's coming. So grab a seat, smash that like button, and let's dive into the news. Which of these topics is gonna hype you up the most? Drop it in the comments. Alright, Raider Nation, let's hit the ground running with the first story that's got Las Vegas buzzing. Picture this, a 347 pound beast from Samoa, raised in Australia, who didn't even know what football was until he stumbled across it at a burger joint. Sounds like a movie script, right? Well, the Raiders just signed Laki Tazi, a rugby monster joining the squad as an undrafted free agent through the NFL International Player Pathway. This could be the steal of the 2025 offseason or a massive gamble. Let's break it down. At just 21, Tazi was playing community rugby for Queensland, Samoa when a burger shop owner changed his life. The guy mentioned the IPP, name-dropped Jordan. Mailata and Tazi, who'd never heard of the NFL, got curious. He hit up YouTube, saw the potential, and went all in. In January 2025, he spent 10 weeks at IMG Academy in Florida, learning the basics of football and grinding for a pro day at the University of South Florida. The result? A defensive lineman with raw size, strength, and potential that had GM John Spytek grinning ear to ear. Why is this a big deal? For one, Tazi is a roster exemption, meaning he doesn't count against the practice squad limit, giving the Raiders flexibility to polish this raw gem without pressure. Second, you can't teach his size. On a defensive line already anchored by Max Crosby, a guy like Tazi could be the wall that swallows blocks and creates chaos. But here's the catch. He's never played competitive football. Can a rugby rookie adapt to Pete Carroll's complex scheme? Fans are split, on X summer calling him the next Mailata, while others say this is just a long shot experiment. Strategically, this signing shows Spytek's hunting for talent in every corner of the globe, something the IPP encourages. NFL VP Peter O'Reilly called the 2025 IPP class a game changer, bringing unique athletes to grow the sport. For the Raiders, who limped to just 4 wins in 2024, Tazi's a low-cost, high-reward bet. If he pans out, he could be a rotational beast by 2026. If not, it's barely a blip. But the risk is real. Time and resources spent on a raw rookie could distract from more pressing needs. So, is Tazi the Raiders' next big find, or just a wild story? Fans need patience and hope. And while we're wrapping our heads around this, bold move, hold tight, because the next story will make you question everything you thought you knew about the Raiders 2025 prep. While we're losing it over a Samoan giant, the Raiders are revving up with a plan that could shape the 2025 season. The NFL dropped the official dates for rookie minicamp and off-season workouts, and Raider Nation, this is more than a schedule. It's where Pete Carroll and his staff start carving out the team's future. From May to June, the Las Vegas desert will be scorching with drills, from playbook sessions to high-octane reps. But will this prep transform the roster or just crank up the pressure? Mark your calendars. Rookie minicamp runs May 9-11, followed by voluntary off-season workouts, OTAs, on May 19th, 21-22, 27, 29-30, and June 2-5. The mandatory minicamp, where no one skips out, is set for June 10th to 12th. Per the NFL, these 9 weeks are split into 3 phases. Phase 1, 2 weeks, is all about meetings, conditioning, and rehab. No contact, just brains and bodies warming up. Phase 2, 3 weeks, hits the field with individual and team drills, but still at a walkthrough pace, no contact. Phase 3, 4 weeks, turns up the heat with up to 10 OTA days, including 7-on-7, 9-on-9, and 11-on-11 drills. No full contact yet, but you can feel the season coming. Why is this huge? For Pete Carroll, kicking off his Raiders tenure, and offensive coordinator Chip Kelly, this is their first shot to put their vision into action. It's where they get hands-on with talents like Ashton Jeanty, the drafted running back set to be the offense's heartbeat. It's also where standards are set: discipline, intensity, team chemistry. After a 2024 season with just 4 wins, the Raiders need a new identity, and these workouts are the lab for it. On X, fans are hyped but skeptical. Some say Carroll's bringing that Seahawks magic, while others worry no contact means we can't really judge the roster. Strategically, this period is about teaching, not testing. Carroll and Kelly will use every second to sync the playbook, especially with rookies like Jeanty and veterans like Geno Smith. The risk? If chemistry doesn't click or injuries pop up, the prep could stall. The upside? A well-coached team now could shock the league in September. These workouts are the foundation for what's next. But will they deliver? Hold your breath, because the next story shows how the Raiders are building an offense to silence the haters. While off-season workouts light a fire in the desert, the Raiders pulled off a 2025 draft that's got Raider Nation dreaming big. After 2 rough seasons with just 4 wins in 2024, the team needed a draft that hit all the right spots. And man, it looks like John Spytek and Pete Carroll delivered. NFL.com's Judy Batista said the Raiders addressed nearly every glaring need, with picks ranging from an explosive running back to beefed up offensive line and secondary help. But can this revamped roster finally pull us out of the gutter? Here's the rundown. The Raiders went surgical in the draft. They snagged Ashton Jeanty, a running back who fits Carroll's hard-nosed, run-heavy style like a glove. In the second round, Jack Beck, a physical wide receiver, gives quarterback Geno Smith a legit weapon. Third round brought Darian Porter to bolster the secondary as a cornerback, while Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, and veteran Alex Kappa shore up the offensive line. And the biggest move? Landing Geno Smith, a seasoned QB, to steady the offense. Batista noted this group of offensive weapons led by Jeanty and Beck give Smith a potentially explosive arsenal. Why's this got us pumped? For the first time in years, the Raiders have a cohesive plan. Spytek and Carroll are rebuilding a roster that was shockingly short on talent in 2024 per Batista. The focus on the run game with Jeanty as the centerpiece, screams Carroll, who's always leaned on the ground attack from his Seahawks days. Fans on X are going wild with posts like Jeanty's the next Marshawn Lynch and Geno with these weapons. I'm smelling playoffs. But not everyone's sold. Some fans argue the secondary, even with Porter, is still too shaky to handle the AFC West air raids. Strategically, this draft is a turning point. The Raiders didn't just fill holes. They added players who fit Carroll's vision. Physical, aggressive, versatile. The risk? It looks great on paper, but games aren't won in April. If Geno doesn't deliver or the O-line crumbles, the offense could flop. The bright side? This roster's last year is better than 2024's, and Batista thinks the Raiders could win at least 2 more games in 2025. So, is this draft the start of a turnaround or just another empty promise? Hang on, because the next story shows why time's ticking for the Raiders. While the 2025 draft is sparking hope, Raider Nation, the clock's ticking. The Raiders crushed it in the last 2 drafts, landing gems like Brock Bowers, a 2024 Rookie of the Year finalist, and Ashton Jeanty, already pegged as the NFL's next great running back. But here's the pressure. These stars are on cheap rookie deals, and that window's closing fast. If the Raiders don't capitalize now, they could miss their shot at something special. Can Pete Carroll get this team soaring before the money runs tight? Let's lay it out. Bowers is already a top 10 tight end, and Jeanty's got top 10 running back potential right out of the gate. Add in Jackson Powers-Johnson on the O-line, Tyree Wilson on defense, and Trey Tucker as a receiver. All on rookie contracts. These guys are the future and the present. Their low salaries give the Raiders cap space for big moves, like Max Crosby's massive extension and Geno Smith's trade and re-signing. But when Bowers and Jeanty start demanding elite contracts, and they'll earn them, the budget's gonna feel it. Why is this urgent? Teams like the Raiders with just 4 wins in 2024 have to strike while their stars are cheap. Losing players like Bowers or Jeanty in free agency, like some stars in the past, would be a gut punch. On X, fans are torn. Some shout, go all in now with Jeanty and Bowers leading the charge, while others warn, without more help, this roster can't hang with the Chiefs. Truth is, the offense is upgraded, the defense is sturdier with Crosby, and the 2025 schedule looks softer. But is it enough? Strategically, Carroll's got a clear mission. Use these young studs to build a contender in 2025. Ginty's tackle-breaking ability could power a run game that controls the clock and sets up Smith's passing. Bauer's versatility is a nightmare for defenses, but holes remain, especially in the secondary and O-line depth. If Carroll can gel this group and maximize the rookies, the Raiders could be one of the NFL's most improved teams. The risk? If they don't click, the window might slam shut before potential turns into wins. So Raider Nation, is this our time to shine or just another flicker of hope? The next story's not coming, but the debate's just heating up. What a day to be a Raiders fan. A Samoan giant from a burger joint, workouts that could spark a new era, a draft that's got us believing, and a window of opportunity screaming to be seized. But here's the real talk. Can the Raiders turn this potential into wins, or are we stuck spinning our wheels? Is Laki Tassi a diamond in the rough or a risky bet? Will Ginty and Bowers carry the team or bolt when the big bucks? Call! Is Pete Carroll the guy to save us? Drop your fire in the comments, hit that like, subscribe, and let's keep this convo rolling.